Hi, it's Mark from Training Spark here with another quick tip for anyone who uses LearnDash. And this video will show you a quick way that you can check the accessibility of your learning platform. Now, accessibility is a very important part in creating a learning platform, and it's the practice of ensuring that all of your content and the interface itself is usable and accessible by people with physical disabilities such as visual impairments. And among other things, it's looking at things like legibility of text and color contrast to make sure that everything stands out to someone who might not be able to see that well, and making sure that anything like images here have a description for anyone who can't actually see the images. And there are lots to accessibility. And what I would say is that there are scales to this in terms of checking your site's accessibility. And if you're a big organization, you probably want to look at getting expert advice in here. So you would want a proper audit of your site, and you would want to pay an expert to come in to check it all out against some very detailed criteria. But if you're a smaller operation, or you just want to quickly check your own learning platform's accessibility, then there are tools available to do this. And you don't actually even need to download any tools in many cases. If you use the Google Chrome browser, which most people do, you have an accessibility tool right in front of you. So what you can do here is go to your learning platform using Google Chrome, and then you can open something called Developer Tools. And if you are using Windows, you would press F12 at this point, and it would bring up a window like this. If you're using a Mac, you can choose Help in the Mac menu bar and then select Developer Tools. And it will pop up a window like this. This window has several tabs at the top. The tab that we want to look at here is called Lighthouse. And what we see here that this Lighthouse tool does is identify and fix problems that affect your site's performance, accessibility, and user experience. And the key one here we're looking at is accessibility. So what we're going to do here is go ahead and generate a report, and that will check a number of aspects of your platform. This report will take maybe 30 seconds to a minute to run, depending on the size of your site. And once it's done, you will get some scores here, which we can see for different aspects of your site. So it's looking at performance, accessibility, best practices, and SEO. As part of this video, we're mainly focusing on accessibility here. So what I'm going to do is click into this option here and just see the accessibility section on its own. We can see that the Astra theme with LearnDash actually has quite a good accessibility score here. We've got 95 out of 100. But there are a few things that it says that we can improve on. These would be listed here. So if you have a different platform, you might find different items in this list. But what you'll find is that all of the areas for improvement are listed, and you can click into each of them to find out what needs to improve. So what it's saying here is that the background and foreground colors don't have a sufficient contrast ratio on these buttons here. So these are the buttons that appear within the course boxes. So if I go back to the site here, what it's saying here is that the background blue here isn't dark enough against that white. So some people might not be able to see that properly. So it's not quite as legible as it should be. So what you would potentially do here within your theme or CSS or something like that is just darken off this background to make sure that there's more contrast between the background and foreground text. The other item here that it's saying is that links do not have a discernible name. And what it's saying here is that these items here, these are actually links. So the images of these boxes are links. And what it's saying is that it doesn't have enough unique text. So what it's saying is that where a link is used within an image, you need to have an alt text or alternative text for the image. And this is something that you would probably administer when you upload the image to the site. Normally you would put in some alt text for any images you upload. So just make sure that any images that you upload have alt text, and you would probably be able to knock this one off your list. So that's a quick way that you can check the accessibility of your platform and see any items that you need to improve on, and then hopefully be able to action those and make things easier to use for people with physical disabilities. What I would say is that you probably need to check multiple pages of your site. So just because this page passed this and got a good score doesn't mean that all of your pages would. So you want to go into your courses and run that Lighthouse report for any pages that you come across and make sure that you're going across the full site to check everywhere. We hope this helps, and we hope it helps to make your learning platform more accessible.